IT for Business is on WAICF 2025. We are with Rana Gujral. Rana, hi.
Hello, how are you?
Thanks for being with us today. You are the CEO of Behavioral Signals. First, who is Behavioral Signals?
Behavioral Signals is a cognitive AI company. What I mean is our core focus is to understand what's happening inside the human mind. We tap into various states such as emotions, behaviors, but also other aspects such as intent, thought process, and decision making. And our claim to fame, we were one of the first to crack the tone of voice modality, which is understanding these complex states, not from the spoken word, but how you're saying those words, like the intonations, tone, pitch and tonal variance, prosody, etc.
So all around the voice, not the voice itself, but all around the voice.
Exactly, all around the voice, but primarily focused on what's behind the spoken word. So, essentially the things that get lost usually in a typical NLP system, because you're focused on the spoken word, we get behind the spoken word.
The first question I wanted to ask you, Rana, is, are emotions data, such as sending an email, reading, sharing documents, are emotions the same?
Emotions are data, for sure. I think
that's not a good news.
There's viable information in emotions and behaviors, but there's an important differentiation. It's not PI data, it's not personally identifiable data. So for example, if I'm creating your emotion and behavioral profile, if I have access to that profile, I can't trace that back to you. Just like you could from potentially biometric data, like a fingerprint or retinal scan, etc. So from that perspective, it's very valuable data, but it's not data that potentially could get compromised and invade your privacy, etc.
Well, what you're saying is that those behavioral data, they are more secure than the eye or the face of my nose or my fingertips, for example.
Yes, it is. I mean, it's especially the way we implement it. So we're focused on, as I said, tone. And most of the problematic data is in the spoken word. Because if I'm analyzing your conversation, you're saying a lot of things which I have to keep very private. If say it's a business conversation, it's a call center conversation, it could be about your private bank data, it could be about your personal information that you don't want to be leaked. So when you're building these sentiment AI engines that are focused on the spoken word, they're very problematic because the data is very, very private, and GDPR is a massive concern. Conversely, if you're building a sentiment AI or affective analysis engine using tone, there is no spoken word. In fact, in any of our implementations, we don't process the words at all. So when we're trying to understand your state of mind, it doesn't matter what you're saying or what language you're speaking in. It could be French, it could be Chinese, it could be English.
It could be Italian, Russian,
we don't
whatever.
care. Yeah. We don't process it.
One last question. To what extent the work you're doing around voice could be useful, for example, for a bank to optimize the relationship, the customer relationship?
It's very, very useful. In fact, that's one of our very popular use cases. One of the things we did was build a very popular and a very interesting product that we call AI-mediated conversations engine. And we brought that to market. The way it works is like a conversation that we're having right now. If our AI engines, which are very complex neural networks, listening to it, it will be extracting real-time a conversational signature of both you and me. That's tapping into about 75 to 100 different attributes of how you speak, the pauses you make, your emotion, your behavioral state of mind. And that signature gives a very unique assessment of who you are when you're speaking to someone and how do you interact with somebody. And that's not in the moment, it's who you are today. Mm-hmm. And using those signatures, we can make a determination of who you're going to get along with or who you're not going to get along with. And so what you call the rapport matrix. So we use that in a variety of call center applications to pair you with the right call center agent. But we also use those same signatures to understand other aspects such as deception or intent to fraud, or I don't want to say necessarily it's a polygraph, but it tries to predict a propensity for an action that you're going to take. So will you pay or not? Will you buy or not? Are you trying to be, transparent, or are you trying to hide something? So those use cases are very popular in banking, for example.
Just one last question. Apart from banking, what type of company could use your solution?
Currently, our two popular use cases, one is on the banking, finance, and the call centers, and other is national security. So we are actually a CIA-backed company, and we work very closely with the U.S. government on a variety of use cases. That's understanding, deception, understanding the state of mind, and preventing, harm, for example. But doing so in a manner that hasn't been done before previously, because these technologies just were not available in the past.
Thank you, Rana. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.